distribute more and more Srimad Bhagavatam sets. So before I say something, I would like to share one small PPT where Narrotam Dasa Thakur, he's actually reporting, he's giving his annual report to Srila Jiva Goswami. So please allow me to share this PPT. Yeah, okay. So this was written by Narrotam Dasa Thakur, and this I came to know from Radhakund Mataji, who's wife of Yashomati Nandan Prabhu. So she got to know from somebody at Radha Damodar temple. This is a letter which was written in Bengali by Narrotam Dasa Thakur to Srila Jiva Goswami in the year 1579. And this letter is amazing, where we'll see that how Narrotam Dasa Thakur, Srinivas Acharya and Shyamananda Prabhu, they were reporting to Srila Jiva Goswami about their annual book distribution. Although that time there was no printing technology, there were no books available in the book form like we have, and those literatures, Vedic literatures, were written on the palm leaves. So they had to be copied by somebody who was very good at Sanskrit, and they had to really work very, very hard. Even for transporting the books, logistics was very, very difficult those days. Still, how these acharyas, they struggled a lot and they distributed these books. So this is a report which Srinivas Acharya had given. Narrotam Dasa Thakur has written this letter to Srila Jiva Goswami. So Srinivas Acharya's course is mentioned here. Bhagavatam with Vaishnava Toshani, Gyan Dasa's song, Govind Dasa's song, all these books, we can see the report is there. And then we can see Narrotam Dasa Thakur's reports. He has distributed 2 Bhagavatam sets, not sets, yeah, 2 Bhagavatam copies, and Gyan Dasa's songs and Prarthana and Chaitanya Bhagavat, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and Vasudev Gosha's Gauranga Padavali, and Shyamananda Prabhu's course, Bhagavatam, 4 copies of Srimad Bhagavatam, and all other, we can see the literature, all the books distributed, 10 books, 11 books, 34 books, 16 books, so like that. So all these Acharya, they were regularly reporting to Srila Jiva Goswami, being the chief of all the Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas. Narrotam Dasa Thakur concludes his letter with the following emotional comment. Until we are able to develop another type of technology to bring the books due to the difficulty involved in creating books by hand, which is being neglected, most of our book distribution program will be postponed. So that book distribution was postponed, and it has started again by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. We are sure that one day some magnanimous person will come and will develop the movement of ecstatic love of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, distributing books all over the world. Until then, what will be persons are poor, bereft, and abominable. So this was, what is the benefiting of discussing the stories of Lord's incarnations, worshipping the Lord's deities, giving musical recitation of the Lord's pastime, chanting the Lord's holy name on beats, when we have such small scores. And let's see now. Okay, so we can see how Narrotam Dasa Thakur is reporting to Srila Jiva Goswami about the book distribution score. So it is not something new which was started by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada has repeated, he has done the same thing what previous acharyas have done, and we are supposed to do the same thing what Prabhupada told us to do. And therefore this book distribution is very, very important. Like Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he once mentioned, if all the books in this world, he wrote a foreword to the commentary of 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, in which he says, if all the books in the world are set to fire, save and except Srimad Bhagavatam, there is no loss whatsoever. If only Srimad Bhagavatam is constantly discussed and listened, and thousands of educational institutions are officially closed, still there will be no inconvenience. So Srimad Bhagavatam is so important. See why? Because the modern education system has failed actually to impart the Vedic teachings. And it is very unfortunate situation, even in India, that there is no scope for any literature to be read in the schools and colleges. Very, very unfortunate situation. And they are teaching all kinds of nonsense, all kinds of rubbish thing. Like I was just listening to one Prabhupada's morning walk conversation, where Prabhupada is saying that we are trying to present this Vedic cosmology on the basis of Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam speaks about the Vedic cosmology. And also in the new temple, TOVP, we are going to show the Vedic planetarium, which is based on the Srimad Bhagavatam. So modern scientists and modern astronomers, they will not agree with this. Yeah, why modern scientists, Prabhupada says, why the modern scientists, they don't agree with this? Why? The reason is because they want to deny the existence of God. Because the moment they accept the existence of God, what will happen? They will have to follow the scriptures. They will have to follow Srimad Bhagavatam. And what will be the result? The government will stop giving them grant because there will be no research work done by them. Scientists will have nothing to do because if they deny the existence of God, if they accept the existence of God, or if they accept the teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam, then they will have nothing to do. They will have to beg on the street. Right? The point is that what I'm trying to say is that the scientists, because they are actually trying to promote the modern astronomy and the modern Vedic cosmology, which is actually not a fact. So therefore, it is very, very important to promote Srimad Bhagavatam. And Srimad Bhagavatam, if somebody reads Srimad Bhagavatam, I experienced one thing. If we just read this one book, Srimad Bhagavatam, in your room, you don't have to go anywhere in the world. You don't have to go anywhere in the universe. Just let us read Srimad Bhagavatam thoroughly. Study Srimad Bhagavatam at home. What will happen, You will be able to understand. You will be able to understand. You will be able to know what is going on in the entire creation. Not only in the material world, also in the spiritual world. Just sitting in one place. We'll come to know everything. So Srimad Bhagavatam is a complete, you can say, the treasure house of knowledge, which is now available by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada to the entire humanity. Srimad Prabhupada is merciful that now Srimad Bhagavatam is getting translated in one of the toughest languages of the world, in the Chinese language, in the Urdu language, and so many international languages. Srimad Bhagavatam is available, where people never could have imagined that Shukdev Goswami, who spoke Sanskrit, he spoke Bhagavatam in Sanskrit. Even Shukdev Goswami must be very, very surprised to see that now Srimad Bhagavatam is being published in Chinese language. This is actually the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. So therefore, it is mentioned that this Srimad Bhagavatam is actually very, very dear to the devotees. Vaishnavanam Priyam, Yad Vaishnavanam Priyam, very, very pleasing to the Vaishnavas, because it is a ripened fruit of the Vedic literature. It is said in the Skara Puran, when Lord Krishna is actually instructing Brahma, he's saying that if somebody is able to keep one verse or half a verse or even one quarter of the verse at home, what will happen? Krishna says, I personally reside at his home. I personally reside in that house where one verse of Srimad Bhagavatam is kept, where one half verse of Srimad Bhagavatam is kept, where even 1/4 of the verse is kept of Srimad Bhagavatam. Then what to speak? The entire Srimad Bhagavatam is kept. So therefore, it is our prime duty. Like once we asked our Maharaj, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami, Maharaj, why don't you write books? You have so much experience, so much. So he said, Prabhupada has already written so many books. My duty is to distribute. So that's what we have to do is, Prabhupada has worked so hard, and now it's our duty to go outside and distribute books. But one thing I'd like to share, it may be very difficult to digest for us, but it is a fact. It is a fact, and we have to really understand how we can distribute Srimad Bhagavatam in larger number. See, like Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Yadyad achariti sresha tatta tevetro janaha. Whatever a great man performs, common men follow. So my humble request is, my request to all the leaders of ISKCON, especially those who are the office bearers, I am requesting them, they should all try to distribute books personally. Unless the leaders of the society, they move out and they go out personally to distribute books, especially Srimad Bhagavatam, because we are promoting Srimad Bhagavatam now for the Bhadra campaign, it will be very, very difficult to inspire people. So we will have to do it ourselves. We may not do it in very big number because we may have other responsibilities. But at least if we go out and try for that personally, then we will see the other devotees in the temple, in our congregation, they will get inspired. So it's very, very important. Just like in the ancient time, we used to see the king used to go on the battlefield. Is it not? There is to be war. The king will ride on he will go on the elephant, and he will go himself go and fight in the battlefield. So similarly, all the leaders, we request all the leaders, all the managers, all the directors, all the presidents and the vice presidents, we should all go out and try to distribute Srimad Bhagavatam. Then you will see the miracle. That will really inspire the devotees to distribute more and more books. Another thing that what we can do is, and many devotees, they say also, now see, the people say that, Prabhuji, there are now a lot of e-books available. Everything is available in the Veda base, and everything is available as e-books. So what is the need of hard books, right? Hardcover books. What is the need of books in a book form? We can have e-books, electronic books. So somebody asked me, so I told the devotee, see, Prabhu, if outside world, in the schools and colleges, e-books are there, is it okay? Yeah, he said, yeah, e-books are there in schools and colleges, but are they not printing, publishing the books also in a book form also? If the schools and colleges, they are still publishing books along with the e-books, why not we can also publish and print books along with the e-books? So let the e-books go on, but at the same time, we will also publish books, we will also print books, and we'll also distribute books, right? So the point is that it is actually okay to, you can get some reference, you can verify, or you can refer from the e-books, that is okay. But as far as the reading is concerned, as far as the studying is concerned, it is always pleasure, it is always nice to read Bhagavatam in a book form and keep that Srimad Bhagavatam at home, in our temple and in our residence in different places. So therefore, we request all the distributors to go out, and especially the leaders of the temple, they should take a lead role to distribute Srimad Bhagavatam, because Srimad Bhagavatam is so important that, like I was just reading, it is a quotation from Padma Puran. It says, we worship the original Lord, the ocean of mercy, whose bodily complexion is just like a tamal tree. He appears in this world for the welfare of all, and is a bridge for crossing the unfathomable ocean of material existence. And his body is Srimad Bhagavatam. So Krishna's whole body is Srimad Bhagavatam, right? And Krishna's smiling face, that is the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So Krishna is full with Srimad Bhagavatam. So the more we distribute Srimad Bhagavatam, the more we are placing Krishna at different homes. Just like Navinirada Prabhu, he was mentioning how Radhesham Prabhu, he inspired Radhesham Prabhu to install Srimad Bhagavatam. So installing Srimad Bhagavatam means installing Krishna at different homes. And when we distribute Srimad Bhagavatam contains the essence of all the Vedic literatures. Srila Prabhupada, he actually consulted 12 commentaries of 12 acharyas to translate Srimad Bhagavatam. He would sit in the midnight and open his dictaphone, and he would word to word, he would give meaning and translation, the purport every day without fail. Yes, within a span of 11 years, he had to translate the entire Srimad Bhagavatam wherever he used to go, all over the world. Even in the Kumbh Mela, Srila Prabhupada would translate Srimad Bhagavatam. 1977, when Prabhupada went to Kumbh Mela, Prayag, in the middle of the night, Prabhupada got up and he started translating Srimad Bhagavatam. I know Kumbh Mela, I went to Kumbh Mela in the year 2000, and December, January, it is really very horrible in the sense, it's so cold, it's so shivering there, just near the Ganga, and sitting in the camp, even if you have 2 quilts and so many blankets you have, you feel so cold there, and practically your fingers are shivering. And I was surprised that Prabhupada is to get in the middle of the night to translate Srimad Bhagavatam in the Kumbh Mela. Why it was like that? Prabhupada gave so much stress on translating Srimad Bhagavatam, because that was his personal service to his spiritual master. Of course, Prabhupada did so much for this movement, for this organization. But one of the most important service Srila Prabhupada had, and Prabhupada wanted, is that, please free me from this managerial duties. Prabhupada said many times, so that I can translate Srimad Bhagavatam, I can give you many Vedic literatures. So Prabhupada would sit in the middle of the night, he would wake up in the middle of the night, he would translate Srimad Bhagavatam, so that we can get Srimad Bhagavatam, we can study Srimad Bhagavatam, and we can distribute Srimad Bhagavatam. So we like to request everyone to get surcharged, and let us not think that time is very, very less. Time is always less, but we should expand ourselves. We should expand ourselves beyond 24 hours, work day and night, take pledges from our community people, from the congregation, from devotees, tell them to pledge something, inspire them, and follow up. And then we call them also. We follow up and try to find out whether they have done their job also or not. So we have to give them targets, and we have to take pledging. We have to take pledges, and then we have to follow up and inspire the leaders. The more we inspire the leaders in our community, we will see that more results will come. So in this way, we can keep ourselves active in Krishna consciousness. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you very much, His Grace Mohan Prabhuji, for such wonderful, so many slokas and so many facts about book distribution. We got to hear from you. And His Grace Mohan Prabhu, as I mentioned earlier, he's the East of Delhi Temple President. And so he's not only speaking, but he's showing by example. East of Delhi itself has a massive target of 1,500 Bhagavatam sets. Right, so we are very much enlivened by hearing from Mohan Prabhu. It's a wonderful presentation.